Okay, so again we have an equation of a circle here, but we're going to rewrite it in standard form. In this case, again, we need to complete the square for our x value, so I'm going to group those together. And then we need to complete the square for our y value, so I'm going to group those together as well. And then I'm going to take 17 and subtract it, so I move it to the other side. So again, I'm going to complete the square of my x's, and I'm going to complete the square of my y's as well. Again, whenever we're completing the square, we need the leading coefficient to simply be 1. There's a couple of different approaches to this. How I like to tackle this is whatever that leading coefficient is, I'm simply going to focus on my x's. I'm going to factor that out of not only my 9x squared, but my 54x when I complete the square. And it happens to be the exact same leading coefficient, so again, I'm going to factor that out of the 9 out of the y squared, as well as the negative 36 when I complete the square there. So again, whenever we add anything to one side, we have to add it to the other. But if you recall, when we're completing the square, if we factor out a leading coefficient, we also need to multiply that by both sides, whatever that c value is we're adding. So you need to make sure that you multiply both of those by 9 as well. So to find our c value for the x, we take our middle term of 6 divided by 2 and square it. So 6 divided by 2 squared would give us a value of 9. Fill that in on both sides. For the y term, I would take my middle value, my b value of negative 4 divided by 2 and square it. Again, that's the value that goes right there. So negative 4 divided by 2 is going to be 4. And then we'll go ahead and factor here for our x value. So we'll get that to be x plus 3 quantity squared. We'll factor for our y's. That'll be y minus 2 quantity squared. And if I add on the right hand side, that should equal 100. And last but not least, I do need to divide every single term by 9 to get it in the actual standard form. So that is the standard form for a circle.